Fallout 76 and its irradiated Appalachia can be pretty daunting to players fresh out of the vault, and there are plenty of mechanics that aren't explicitly told to you up front. Luckily, we've got a few tips you can keep in mind. Sooner or later, you're going to be carrying around more junk than you can handle. Before you even think about storing it all away, remember to use the closest crafting station to scrap all junk first. Scrapping gives you all the components without the excess weight. Once you're down to components, store all of it at your camp, which can really help make room for that missile launcher you just found. You can find recipes to craft new weapons, armor, food, and building parts. You'll need to get them in the wild, buy them from traders, or get them as quest rewards. Once you have a recipe, be sure to read them in your notes section to actually unlock them at crafting stations. Duplicates can't be used, but you can give them to other players instead. When even your components start to overflow your stash, you'll find that robot vendors won't accept items like wood or steel. However, you can visit a tinker station to create bulk items using a bit of plastic and a bunch of components. This doesn't always lighten the load, but it does make them worth something, so you can sell them to vendors to free up more space. Working as a team is always a plus, but there are other benefits to having friends. When a friend is on the same server as you, regardless of if they are in your group, you can fast travel to them for free. This, of course, applies to anyone in your group, as well as their personal camp, and a smart team can place their camps around Appalachia to cross the map quickly without spending caps. When you level up, you'll get to increase 1 point in the special stat of your choice, and you'll be able to pick a perk card also. What isn't as obvious is that while you were shown a list of perk cards from the stat you just increased, you can actually choose perk cards from other categories. Use the filter controls at the bottom of the screen to see other options, and you can sort based on stat, point cost, or newly added. If you realize you're better off increasing another stat to include a newly available perk card, you can always back up before choosing the perk card to pick a different stat to increase. Fight enough Scorched or Super Mutants, and you'll start looting a lot of excess weapons that can take up a lot of space. Early on in your journey, you should go ahead and loot duplicate weapons and scrap them at the nearest workstation. Scrapping weapons and armor can unlock recipes to mod your items to increase their power, even if the weapon you scrap is badly damaged. Everyone wants their own suit of power armor, but what happens when your group finds just one? You can only enter a power armor frame if you are high enough level to use all of the pieces attached. Otherwise, quickly hit the item transfer button to move the power armor sections into your inventory, and then you can enter the power armor chassis. Once you've climbed in, that chassis cannot be used by anyone else, even if you hold the interact button to exit your frame. You don't need to worry about losing it either. After a couple of minutes, the chassis and any armor attached will automatically go back into your inventory. As an added bonus, any armor attached to the power armor chassis won't increase its base weight when it's stored in your inventory. Public workshops can sound like more trouble than they're worth. You'll usually need to clear out a location of enemies, spend a few caps to claim the place for yourself, and then defend it from both creatures and other players. However, if you're looking to bolster your crafting abilities, claiming public workshops can reward you with additional building plans, including water purifiers that you can use at your own camp so long as you generate some power. Killing creatures and monsters is a great way to accumulate meat and ingredients to cook into meals that stave off hunger and boost your stat, but be warned, raw food like meat or vegetables will spoil fairly quickly, making them almost useless, though you can turn them into fertilizer. In order to stave off spoilage, craft food as soon as you can, and the rate of food going bad will be drastically reduced. There's a lot that goes into making a base at your camp, but what happens when you want to go somewhere else and bring it along? You can hold the blueprint button to tag your creation and save it as a custom blueprint, which can then be built on command. But wait, when you set up your camp somewhere else, don't build your base back up from the blueprint tab. Instead, look in the stored tab, where you'll find everything that was at your previous camp, and it won't cost any materials to place back down. So those were some of the things we discovered in Fallout 76. Do you have any tips? Share them in the comments below, and for everything Fallout, keep it here at IGN.